Central banks have continued to research, test and pilot central bank digital currencies, with them being committed to implementing CBDCs. For example, 3 countries that have fully adopted them, such as Nigeria, which is increasing as you can see, but still a very small percentage of the population use its CBDC. The Bahamas has also adopted a central bank digital currency in its sand dollar, with the issuance of this again increasing. And finally, Jamaica, through its CBDC jam Drex. And you'll notice the incentives here to use the CBDC, which I expect will be encouraged in many other projects in future, and is something to be wary of in my opinion, which I will touch on again later in this video. But there are 134 countries exploring a CBDC currently, according to the Atlantic Council, which represents 98% of global GDP, and 44 countries are currently piloting CBDCs, with the Digital Yuan, or ECNY, being the largest CBDC pilot in the world, with transaction volume surpassing 7 trillion ECNY in June 2024, which is worth $986 billion, which is nearly 4 times larger than the amount from a year earlier in June 2023. In fact, every G20 country is exploring a CBDC in some way, with 13 of those already piloting one. But I personally haven't seen anything yet that would convince me that CBDCs are the way forward, especially given the large downsides and when we have cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, with some central banks saying that these CBDCs will initially complement cash rather than replace it. But we ultimately understand why central banks want CBDCs: to protect themselves, and because they want control over money. The more this becomes digital, with the rise of tokenized assets, permissionless blockchains, and distributed ledger technology. And in this video, I'll be providing you with an update on some of these CBDC pilot schemes that are currently being tested. So please do like the video and subscribe to the channel so I can continue to offer more content for you in future. Just a quick reminder, you can contact me if you're looking for crypto coaching. You can sign up for a free account with Coinly using the link in the description to this video, which is one of the best automated crypto tax platforms out there. If you're looking for more specific tax advice based on your personal circumstances, I've partnered with a leading crypto tax company in Minor, which is part of the company Nephos, that offers other services such as wealth management, restructuring, offshoring, etc. But I'll leave a link to contact them directly in the description to this video. And finally, I've included a link to Trezor's website in the description for anyone looking for one of the best hardware wallets or cold storage out there, with 2 new models released recently in the Trezor Safe 3 and Trezor Safe 5. Just a quick reminder that nothing contained here is financial advice, and let's jump straight in. Firstly, we need to mention the Bank for International Settlements, or BIS, because this is basically a bank for central banks around the world, and it's helping to lead on the research, testing, and implementation of central bank digital currencies, or CBDCs, because one of the CBDC projects that the BIS helped to launch back in April 2024 is called Project Agorá. And I did a video on Project Agorá back in April explaining this, in case you weren't aware of it. And I'll include a link to that video here and in the description, so you can check that out first if you'd like to. But the big change since April for Project Agorá is that it put out a call for participation to private sector firms back in May 2024. And we then heard in September that 41 private sector financial firms will join Project Agorá, with the aim of exploring how tokenization can enhance wholesale cross-border payments through the use of technology seen in the crypto industry, such as smart contracts, blockchains, and distributed ledger technology. And there are some big names in that list, including Santander, BNP Paribas, Citi, Deutsche Bank, HSBC, JP Morgan, Lloyds, NatWest, Swift, UBS, and of course, Visa and MasterCard. But I'll include a link to the full list in the description of the video if you wanted to check out all of them. And it's important to note that this project is looking at wholesale cross-border payments using CBDCs, so essentially between banks or financial institutions in different countries, and not retail CBDCs. But as always, it is important to look at the detail and see where this leads to in future. But with potential positive savings in time and cost for cross-border payments for individuals, which you will already know about if you're in the crypto space, with Project Agorá using the Bank for International Settlements unified ledger to try to integrate tokenized wholesale central bank money with tokenized commercial bank deposits in a public-private programmable core financial platform, with some of that possibly ringing alarm bells, such as the words private and programmable, for example. The United States House, back in May 2024, actually passed a bill banning the implementation of a retail CBDC. However, the Senate hasn't acted on this yet, as you can see here, with it being passed in the House, but sitting with the Senate now for months. And there are 7 central banks that are participating in Project Agorá's wholesale CBDC project: the United States, UK, Japan, South Korea, Mexico, Switzerland, and Europe. And the next stage is designing and testing this wholesale CBDC, with the BIS stating that the challenges that it's trying to overcome are legal, regulatory, and technical requirements in different jurisdictions, as well as different operating hours. So that's an update on the CBDC project called Project Agorá. And let's look at a second one, which is called the Regulated Liability Network. And I did cover this in a video back in May 2024 that you can find a link to here and in the description, just in case you weren't aware of it and wanted to find out more, but which basically is, similarly to Project Agorá, a financial infrastructure designed to use blockchain and distributed ledger technology to incorporate and merge wholesale CBDCs, so central bank digital currencies, commercial bank deposits, and tokenized assets all together, under the stated aim of promoting innovation in financial transactions. And the Regulated Liability Network, or RLN, has just completed its experimentation phase, according to UK Finance, which is the trade organisation for banks and financial services companies based in the UK, which does run this RLN CBDC project. And I'll include a link to the summary report by UK Finance and Ernst & Young on the Regulated Liability Network's experimentation phase in the description of this video if you want to check this out for yourself. But essentially, 11 members of UK Finance, many of whom I've already mentioned when looking at Project Agorá earlier, as you can see here, but they tested the RLN tokenization and CBDC platform and reported that it was successful by finding improvements in economic value and enhanced functionality, such as through programmable payments, interoperability, and transferability. Innovation was apparently shown by offering a single common point of access and interface for financial institutions that leverages this new technology that we all know about in the crypto industry. And some other areas mentioned in the report include reducing fraud and economic crime, improving operational efficiency, and improving cyber security. It is therefore now looking to work with regulators and public bodies to develop payment networks based on this regulated liability network. These do include the Bank of England, FCA, HM Treasury, etc. And the RLN does state that it is a wholesale CBDC project. However, in the experimentation phase, it actually tested 4 different retail use cases with only 1 wholesale use case. And these 5 use cases that the RLN tested were a peer-to-peer marketplace, home buying, an e-commerce merchant gateway, card integration and point of sale, and finally, the settlement of tokenized bonds. So this was a detailed experimental phase, which is certainly worth keeping an eye on moving forward, in my opinion, given the potential negatives of CBDCs for an individual's economic freedom and privacy, with the Bank of England continuing to consult on a UK digital pound CBDC, and with the Labour government stating their backing of it in early 2024. And this is a wider concern across the world rather than just in the UK, with the Basel Committee on Banking Supervision putting out a report at the end of August 2024 in coordination with the Bank for International Settlements, or BIS, stating that the banks that transact using permissionless blockchains face multiple risks, including money laundering, terrorism, security, governance, legal, settlement finality, and compliance. But the report did say that technologies such as zero-knowledge proofs could be a possible solution to these risks. And to end this section on a bit of a lighter or perhaps stranger note, in November, there'll actually be a regulated liability network hackathon taking place at the Ernst & Young FinTech Lab in London, organised by UK Finance. And to end this video, providing updates on some CBDC projects, let's look at a very recent announcement by one of the G20 countries in Brazil, which is the 8th largest economy in the world currently, because the Central Bank of Brazil is now accepting applications for phase 2 of its large Drex CBDC pilot project between October the 14th and November the 29th, 2024, with firms such as Santander, Visa, MasterCard, and Google apparently being participants. And their focus in this second phase is on privacy, tokenization, and DeFi, or decentralized finance, on the Drex platform, which has been built on Ethereum's Hyperledger Besu. But there are actually 13 use cases being looked at as part of this pilot, as you can see here. So it is certainly a large project. But that ends this video, and as always, I'd love to know what you think in the comments below about it. If you are interested in more of a tailored approach to your crypto education, and you think you'd benefit from having someone look over your shoulder and guide you on your journey, I do offer one-to-one coaching to those who have the desire and the means to educate themselves further. And there are links in the description where you can message me and book in a free video call to see if we'd be a good fit. There are also links to Coinly, Trezor, and to contact Miner or Nefos in the description of this video also, as I mentioned at the start of the video. And if you found this content interesting, please do like the video and subscribe to the channel, as it really does help. And have a great day.